have nearly 100,000 less than 2 weeks.
Wow. Hey everyone, it's David. I'm going to go ahead and do an interview with one of our scalers who's coming into Surplus Fund Mastery, and he's done a great job. Watch him, hear what he has to say. Here's a guy who's come in, he's followed the program, and he's done very well. But before we get into this interview, if you have not subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? Go and click subscribe. I get freebies. I'd love for you to be one of my lucky winners, and I'll see you in the interview. Thank you.
It's an honor to be here. Thank you very much for having me. I'm doing great.
Awesome. Well, hey, I want to thank you for being on. So you're in the skill program. How are you doing in that program right
Yes. Do you want the short or what do you want? I'm
now?
doing
Anyone
really,
listening
really
to this
good.
could say, wow, and they could take something away from it. Like, how are you doing? What's going on and what's working for you?
I had to be in scale because I wanted to get where I want to get like today, but I know I needed that guidance, and I was willing to be a part of this very, very unique and this group. So I had the drive, but it's not enough just to have drive. You need guidance so that you don't crash and that you make less mistakes, even because you're still going to do that. What I was doing, I had to tell somebody I forgive my secretary. It was their first week. I was honest though, because I'm the secretary, I'm the marketer and sales.
One of the things when I started working for myself independently, what I really noticed is like, if something doesn't get done, there's no one signing over you saying this isn't getting done. It's your own business, and that accountability that you're talking about is huge, because at the end of the day, you own your time and you take control of that time, and it's a whole new playing field. It's like you're your own boss, and you got to be held accountable to yourself. And we're so used to being held accountable to other people in society. So for me, when I became held accountable to myself, it was huge. And just learning that, like when I come in the office, I have to make myself accountable and be my own boss, and it's very challenging.
It's almost like you know you can do it, but you also have to say, okay, but that bank says this, and now I have to explain this to my wife. And so I love it because it just makes you such a better person and makes you be what you can be, but you have to trust yourself. You have to believe the people who you're saying know more than you. And you guys really have been doing this. And I mean, I've, oh my gosh, I'm grateful, very grateful. If I could tell anybody, tell them take a deep breath, tell them listen, and just get excited about your new future, because it really is possible.
What would you say to, like, now you've had 5 deals, 6 deals in a very short time, correct?
6 deals. I have David. I have nearly. I put in my numbers down. 95,000 some change. I have nearly 100,000 less than 2 weeks.
Wow. And that's in
If I get and follow,
that's in deals, or that's in commission?
that's in my commissions. With
Wow.
total that everything comes through. Yes, and that's what I'm saying. If I had to drive, but of the guidance and Barry, you guys, why is like Barry? Everybody should know who Barry is. Somebody who I'm sure is business. I don't want to say how many, but somebody who is you guys like right hand man. And what satisfaction does he get out? What's his motivation of seeing people grow? Why would somebody even want to do that? So it's more than what you get, but it's what you give. And I've had so many interviews. Probably just don't even watch mine. Hopefully, you get something, but really get that if you find your purpose in giving. And those people. I just had one, Kimberly, of her dad just recently passing. So when you just really just slow down and listen, like one guy actually wrote on my sheet to say, call him after 6. And immediately I said, you're winded. And he's like, yeah, he forgot to call him. Like, oops. And then I did follow up, and it was okay and I was willing to not just say sorry, but I was willing to say, we normally give blah, 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 such an, amount, but because we just don't apologize, but I'm going to make exception because that should be, say, for instance, if I use an amount, say 10%, I would have made it 5%, just because we actually mean what we say. And so that doesn't just mean words, but this is how we apply it. So that's what I was willing to do. And That's what people get. They feel that sincerity. They don't want the song and dance. They just want real. So if you want real, give them what you want. But like I've always heard, never offer something you wouldn't be willing to pay for.
Mhm.
That's it.
They want to have that spirit. Like me, I love handing people a check, and I've had people just melt and break down, especially when you hand them a check for tens of thousands of dollars they didn't know they had. And it's like, hey, thank you for trusting me. Here's your
Right.
check. And you just see someone melt and start crying. I mean, there's no greater feeling in the world than when you see people that are thanking you because they've gotten paid by you. I mean, it's awesome. Yeah, awesome. What would you say to
Wow.
someone who's brand new, just starting this, going forward?
I was yes. I'm glad you asked that. I would say get out of your own way. Get out of your own way. Like
Excellent.
seriously, like I mentioned, meet people where they are, not where you want them to be. That you can maybe be your greatest enemy, but you can be your greatest asset. And so that's what I think of. If here it is, you have skills. Leah had mentioned before, he had the skills, he had this, but and that's why he's willing to give you guys your time, and I am too, whatever, because why not? It's all about giving, giving, giving. If you can remember anything I say, but it's really, really true, that's what's going to come out. And that's what I believe. I feel like that's what's begun before me because of that attitude. And now it's kind of when you get on that call, it's already they're saying, I'm ready to listen to you. I will listen, even though you might not be perfect, even that I didn't make those 10 calls, like Barry said, your marketing plan and doing certain things. I might have made 4 calls, but because the way he already gave me the information, I crafted it. They said, okay, you're credible. Oh, Charles, you don't have a website right now. Okay, but you do you did mention this about the case number. You said, like David said, if you don't remember anything, data, data, data. Just like you might hear in business, location, location, location. It's called data. If you want to say it data, you will say it data. You say data. Just remember that. And then so you're speaking to someone, not saying I'm Mr. Salesman, I'm the best one. No, they not asking. They want to know, are you real? So if you can do that and then put the sincerity and say if you work with me or not, I can call you back when it, then are you going to say next? It's really that easy. It's going to be, and how you'll say it, it just puts a lot of things to rest for you. And it just says, okay, because success has no favorites. It's only asked, will you sacrifice? Or what are you willing to sacrifice? That's what it says. So don't think that you're special and that, oh, it won't for, no, are you listening to the information? Are you actually applying it? Are you be consistent? Because my first day I was frustrated using like skip tracing, but I said, Charles, who are you? Like, what are you gonna? You're not saying, oh, I'm done. No, you're gonna get up and say again today, what can we do? What can you do? And you're gonna use what they gave you, or you're gonna ask questions if you need to. And the next day, I didn't make even 5 calls, but you have to go through the other numbers, relatives, and those kind of things. Like, what is it, Leah mentioned, and like get people to raise their hands so they can help you because they want to. But you just have to be able to be diligent and actually want to help. And I think less than that week I had 2 deals, and then this week I had 4. So it's like it made me go crazy because when you think you're hitting your head, that's when they say almost dig 3 more feet, and I'm telling you the light will come. But you have to do it for the right reason, and also listen to the people that went before us, which is the Spencers, the David, the Barrys, the Ricks, everybody. They've laid it out. Please just follow the ABC. Don't try to invent. And then eventually you will, because you're following the right rules, it will come like, okay, this is what maybe I can do and see what the result. Now you can do a slight test, but don't do it before. Just be a student, always be a student, and it will work.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the people you mentioned is Lee, and it's so funny because sometimes when you all come through the program, I learn from participants in the program versus
Mm,
me teaching, and it's like Barry's taught me a few things that you mentioned. Lee's taught me a few things that has been mentioned. And when Lee came through, one of his lines that he gives is when he calls relatives, and this is a freebie to anyone listening to this interview right now. He calls and they say they get offended. He says, before you hang up, you're not going to be doing them any favors. Before you hang up, you need to know that there's money on the table from an old account or from something. And before you hang up, you're doing your relative a disservice. And I'm like, And I've actually taken that and I've used that, and it's actually worked for me. And I've actually gotten some deals off of that. I'm like, wow, I have learned from some of the warriors coming in the community, like Barry. I've learned from in some of his approach and mannerisms. Lee, I mean, Lee is so aggressive, and I love it. But when he uses that line, I've actually taken that. Thank God it's not copyrighted. He wouldn't care.
One thing, it sounds like you saying induce, and if I might be misinterpreting the word, but it's called gentle, like persuasion. It's like he's saying it in a gentle way of saying, I really want to help you without saying aggressive. And it's the skill, it's the what you not they say, not what you say, how you say it. And that's where we are. The community is so important, what you guys are building.
This is why we're in the program, and this is why we do it, because we love seeing people successful, and we love doing this. And yeah, it's a pleasure, man. So hey, Charles, I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank you so much for being on here. And yeah, I appreciate it, man. All right, man. We'll see you, man. We'll see you. Okay. Thanks.
Continue peace, purpose, and prosperity to you and everybody else. Thank you.
Hey, thank you, man. God bless. We'll see you.
God bless.